All right, everybody. It's Lunch Therapy Interview Friday. Today is episode 501. And if you look over here, this was episode 197 when we had guest Renee Percy on. This was like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, a lot of stuff has happened since then. When I had her on, the insurrection had just happened. It was January 8th. It was actually 2 days after the insurrection. Renee has all kinds of developments that have occurred since then. So I'm really looking forward to having her on the show. Let's see who's here. Lalitha, hoy. Hoy to the interview. Hoy, Claster fan. Great to have you here today. Feel free to share the show. Feel free to subscribe. Please subscribe to the show. Please donate if you can. It really helps the show. And tonight, I'm going to be at the Ice House with Lynn's son, who's been on the show, and the rest of these folks doing some stand-up comedy. So I hope you'll come down. It's sold out, but I'm sure if you come down there, you can bust down the door, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Also, next Friday, I'm at the Fourth Wall doing one of their later night shows. I believe it's at 9:45, November 10th. I'll tell you more about that. There are links in the show notes to that. So looking forward to both of those shows. I'll see some of you tonight. Ginny Sykes is here. Ginny! I'm going to go see Ginny Sykes' show on Sunday, I believe. It is the Barry Katz show that is happening at the Deaf Noodles, which I haven't been there yet. I hear it's really cool. And also, Mike Knox, longtime viewer of the show, is going to be in the show. And also, someone we had on the show as a guest, Eugenia Kuzmina, one of our favorite people, great friend, and supermodel. All right, let's get into this thing called Lunch Therapy. We got to breathe. I'm going to get myself a modem. I'm going to get myself a modem. Myself a modem. I'm gonna get myself a modem. I'm gonna get myself a modem. I'm gonna get myself a modem. Some people are wondering, hey, where's Bloss? I am wondering that myself. My co-host Bloss. I was saying to Renee, he's the Ed McMahon of the show. For those of you that remember Ed McMahon. Of course, Renee was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of that guy. Get out of here, Marshall. What's wrong with you? You're in your ancient references. Hoy, hummingbirds. Just thought I'd fly in for a quick pics of Lunch Therapy. I'm now lying on my couch, Dr. Marshall. It all started when I was a tiny little hummingbird. Great to see you, Richard. Yes, viewers of the show, we call them hummingbirds. That is something that I think Boney came up with. Boney, my assistant, who is a plastic skeleton. All right, let's get on to the breathing because we all need some therapy here. So at the beginning of the show, and we talked about this a little bit during the 500th episode celebration, but in the beginning of the show, I just needed to breathe before the show because I needed to get all the extra angst out. So I highly recommend everybody breathe wherever they are, even if they're in their car. I think you can breathe as well while driving. I recommend breathing several times a day, actually. And this is, behind me, is the Scorpio Healing Vibrations. You can see the scorpion there, because it is Scorpio time. I'm a half of a Scorpio. I'm like a Scorpio wannabe. The colors symbolize mystery, emotional intelligence, and sophistication. You see? Told you I was sophisticated. Dominant traits of Scorpio are intuition, sensuality, and loyalty. Sensuality. Scorpios use discretion and determination as their driving force. I don't know if there are any people out there in the chat room that are Scorpios. CeeLo is here. Hoy. Camila Lopez is on the plane. She's headed off to Mexico for a couple of days. I know, my wife's leaving me going to Mexico. Can you believe it? She left me here with this dried up scorpion. But it's okay, I can hold down the fort. Somebody's got to feed the cats and the raccoons. In through the nose, out through the toes. First breath. Hold it. Yes, be safe, please. Let it go. Shake it out if you want to. Please. Let us know your sign and listening experience in the comments. Go over to Healing Vibrations anytime. Check them out 24 hours a day. They're open. What a good husband. Thank you very much, CeeLo. I appreciate that. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. And let it go. A lot of folks are coming into town this weekend. They're on the plane. Todd Lee, a lot of viewers, you've seen him on the show. Guignel, longtime viewer of the show. Handler of the Cult of the Hummingbird. And Gordy Wall, Stig Carlson, they're all coming down here for the USC Washington football game. And I will be attending that with them as well. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. I think he's got a rain stick back there, which is cool. All right, one more venture into the music realm. I love that rain stick. That's nice. That's nice. Oh, I got a good review there. Thank you very much, Lalitha. This is Mystic Hung. We're going to do a collaboration with him someday. We don't know what it is. He's in Spain. I showed this on the 500th episode, but we were really jabbering away. So I wanted you to be able to experience some of it. He's got his Los Angeles shirt on. I appreciate that. All the way on the shores of ancient Spain. I don't know. Does that sound like a thing? Ancient Spain? I don't know how ancient it is compared to the age of the Earth. 3.5 billion years or more. I don't know. I'll be quiet so we can hear him. Soak it up. To Mystic Hung's YouTube channel anytime and subscribe. He plays the handpan, the hung, which is the favorite instrument of lunch therapy. Got us through the deepest, darkest depths of COVID, I believe. And now let's get on with the show. So Renee Percy, what can I say about Renee? I first saw her probably on a show, maybe a Jimmy Shin show, I believe, that I might have been in. I'm not sure. Also, I saw her on the quarantine comedy show with Tom Kearney and Maura Kearney in the beginnings of the pandemic. She was doing a thing where she was doing political humor with a snare drum, which was super cool. Every week, she's been doing shows with some huge names. She's becoming a huge name herself. She has been doing shows with Arsenio Hall, Sebastian Maniscalco, Nikki Glazer, Jay Leno, David Spade, Damon Wayans, Jeff Ross, just a lot of your favorite comedians. She tends to haunt the Laugh Factory, the Improv, Flappers, the Comedy and Magic Club, which is that super cool club down south. She is also an actor. Renee has appeared on most networks: NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, Nickelodeon, Disney, FX, and Comedy Central. And she also is a writer. She wrote for comedy shows in Canada as well. She received the Canadian Comedy Award, the Phil Hartman Award. She also does commercials, prolific commercial actor. And, as she says in her bio, she's only one stamp short of a free yogurt at Pinkberry, so that's cool. I hope to be there. Haven't had Pinkberry in a long time. It's a long time coming. She has, this is the big thing, she has a one-person special coming out on Comedy Dynamics this Tuesday, and it's called the Komic Sutra. There's a link in the show notes. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you the trailer right now, but let's get into this thing that we call lunch therapy.
My full name is Renee Sutra Crystal Percy. My parents were hoping for a stripper. They named me Sutra, you guys, as in the Kama Sutra. That would be like parents today naming their kid Michelle, Netflix and Chill Douglas.
All right. Yes. Renee Percy live here on Lunch Therapy. Welcome to Lunch Therapy. Woo!
Thank you so much. It wouldn't let me unmute every time I saw Ginny Sykes. I was like, I love Ginny Sykes.
I love Ginny Sykes. Oh my God. That's great. I love Ginny Sykes. She's going to be doing a show at have you done something at the Deaf Noodles? Have you heard of this place?
No, I've heard about it, but I haven't done a show there, no.
You know, Barry Katz is producing the show, and I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to go over there on Sunday and check it out.
Kill it, Ginny.
Okay, so the last time we had you on the show was right down there in COVID lockdown, and we
had to be online, and now we're still online.
I know. I've gotten sort of used to it. I sort of love it.
Yeah, it was great. I was like, oh, now it's a delight when I don't have to leave my house.
I know. Actually, I did want to mention to the viewers that next week I'm going to have an in-studio interview. So I'm starting to do those. I know. It could be crazy. I'm going to have to clean up. Boney's going to have to really clean this place up because I don't know. I don't know if I want to put that on. So tell me, all kinds of things have been happening since we saw you last. You've been really coming on strong. And I've been watching, seeing all the flyers and all the different announcements and things like that. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey since we saw you last? I mean, it's a lot.
Well, we got out of lockdown, so things started to happen once I was allowed to leave the house, which was great. Things happen more when I leave the house. That's what I've discovered.
It's true, isn't it? This is actually a really good piece of advice after the pandemic, because a lot of us are at home in bed going, I don't know if I'm going to get out watching TV. We've gotten so comfortable at home, but there's so much that happens when you leave the house. I know it's weird.
Yeah,
It seems-
nobody's going to find you in your living room. Fortunately, I tried for years, and I was like, hello, why do I not have my own TV show?
It's true though. It's true.
know.
You got to get out and see people in the flesh.
When I don't want to. I think naturally I'm kind of an introvert, as weird as that is, because I'm on stage every night. But I would prefer to stay home. I have to drag myself out of the house. But once I'm out, I'm always happy that I left.
Yeah.
But yeah, leaving the house proved to be beneficial for me, for sure. I got passed at the Improv and the Laugh Factory and Comedy and Magic and all the places that I've always dreamed of performing, which was great. And
can you explain that phrase, passed?
What is that? It means that you are a paid regular at those places.
So great. Congratulations. Congratulations for that, because that's like a huge thing. Yes, the audience is going crazy. Now, can you tell me, like, how does that happen? Like, how did it's different.
How does that happen? I don't know. It's a miracle, really. You I don't know. You need some frog's feet and a bat's wing, and you do a spell, and you just turn around 3 times, and then you spit and you pray. It's every club is different. Every club has their own like secret passageway of getting in. They all have their one audition thing that you can do, and maybe that works, and maybe the booker's there. It's just a hustle and a grind and a hope and a prayer, really, that you get seen by the right person at the right time. Each club's different. I don't know if you want to go through each one, their process, but
they're different, huh? You spend a lot of time at, so where you teach, is that at Flappers where you teach? Or where do you teach?
I have been teaching at Flappers since for the last 5.5, 6 years, every week. I have not missed a session.
Really?
But I also have my own studio here that I teach out of.
Oh, that's your home. That's your own studio. Nice.
Yeah. And so Ginny's been here. She knows. And
she says you're a fantastic teacher, Ginny says.
Yay.
Nice.
She's the best. I mostly teach out of here. I teach at Flappers 1 night a week, but every other day I'm in here.
And what is the process you have for teaching people? Like, a lot of times people have never done comedy before, and some of them are veteran comedians that come to your class, I'm sure.
Yes, I've got 2 different. I mean, the one I teach at Flappers is a level 1, and I taught all the levels there, but I like level 1 only because the learning curve is so big in that first 5 weeks to take people that may never have been on stage or have never done stand-up before, and then 5 weeks later watch them on stage doing a killer 5-minute set. It's so fun to watch that process.
So cool.
In the later levels, the learning curve is more like, you learned but it's just so fun to watch that huge leap, and everybody's so excited after their showcase, and it's fun for me to watch.
Do you usually do the showcases at Flappers when the people take your class?
For my Flappers class, yes, they're always at Flappers just because that's their thing.
Yeah.
And then my students here are all people that are already in the scene. Yeah. I don't teach level 1 here. I just assume that everybody has either already taken my level 1 class or is already a working comedian. So I don't have to go through all of the basics, but a lot of people are surprised that they're like, why would you take a class? You're either funny or you're not. And, some comics give people flack for taking a class, but I think it's like any other writing form. You wouldn't
totally,
just because you write a screenplay or a haiku, they're both writing, but they have very different rules and structures. And stand-up does have its own set of rules. And the quicker you learn them, the faster and easier it is for you to start writing and creating jokes, and you'll be light years ahead of other open micers that are just trying to be funny or doing something that their friends looked at.
Yeah, I think it's a lot like any other art form. You have to kind of learn the basics, and that will get you so much farther than just throwing paint against the wall and seeing what happens. There's a reason for it. There's a reason. People have been doing it for a long time. So people have found what works and what doesn't. And then you can break the rules all you want. You can be Andy Kaufman, you can be whatever, but you also see in these people that you thought were like breaking all the rules, they actually have structure as well.
100%.
Yeah.
I challenge my students all the time. I'm like, go find me a bit that you think is funny and you think isn't the structure, and then I'll go break it down and show you why it is or isn't. But most of the time it is. You'll hear every comedian say, it's like, as soon as you say it's like, now you're doing a simile, or they're comparing, or they're doing an act out, or they're doing a rule of three, or they're being sarcastic. They're using one of the punchline tools that I teach. So.
Yeah. Who are your mentors? Who are your teachers?
Who are my teachers? I mean, I have a lot of mentors or people that I look up to or that have been really great to me. I mean, at the end of my special, I thank Craig Robinson, who took me on the road the year before when I was leading up to my special, and he was there in the audience, which was nice. And Arsenio Hall was very instrumental in, helping me get this together, just mostly with encouragement. But
what was that like on the road? So had you been on the road for any length of time before then?
I have, yeah, I have, but I haven't been on the road with somebody that's that big that draws a huge crowd, and you have 8 shows in a weekend, Thursday to Sunday, 8 shows, 300 people sold out every show, just so fun.
Yeah, that must have been great. And so did you develop your show on the road? I mean, as you were going out there, like, how did you develop your show? I mean,
it was mostly in LA, and that's the hard thing is you do have to go on the road eventually, because in LA you get it's such a showcase city. The most you're going to get 10 minutes here, maybe you get 12, 15 if you're headlining the show. I mean, even at the Improv and the Comedy Store, the longest set that somebody will get is 20 minutes. And that's the Arsenio Halls and the Jay Leno's and or Leno can headline his own show. But all of those clubs are showcase clubs. So it's not the normal opener, MC opener, headliner kind of structure. So so I pieced it together in these 10-minute little chunks, working. And then right before I shot it, I went on the road myself just a couple times to run. I mean, I think before I shot my special, I had run it all together, maybe 3 or 4 times.
Really?
5 times.
Really? The whole thing together, huh? Where would you run it? Like, where did you run it 4 times?
I went out to Canada, and I headlined a Yuck Yucks Niagara Falls club for the weekend. So I did get to run it there. And then I flew myself to Atlanta and headlined a show there. And
you're from Canada originally?
Yeah, I'm from Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And how did you? You were writing for comedy shows there, right?
Yeah, I was a TV writer and a stand-up and an actor there. Yeah.
Wow. When did you come down to Los Angeles?
I gave it all up, my amazing career 12 years ago, to come here and start all over again, which I just thought at the time, I was like, if I had the career I have in Canada, in America, I'd be famous and a millionaire. Why am I not doing that? Yeah. And then I get here like, oh man, I got to start all over again.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? Because people are just not impressed. People are just
like that. It is that. It doesn't just feel that way. It is 100% that way. People are like, I've never heard of any of these shows. Who are you? All right, you'll get 2.
It's true. It doesn't matter like how much you've done outside of LA when you come in, unless maybe it was New York. Even New York, you could be on Broadway for 20 years, and you could come to LA, and people are like, "Well, you haven't really done anything, have you?"
Have you been to the fourth wall yet?
What TV shows have you done? It's crazy.
It's true, but I mean, in a way, this is the Super Bowl of everything, So you kind of are.
Sense.
You can be who you are in your town or your city or your country, and then you get here and you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's because everybody comes here, and so it's sort of a great leveler. Because in your hometown, you were like the wacky person that was standing out. And then all of a sudden, it's like, hey, it's full of wacky people wearing purple pants.
all the class clowns in one class.
Exactly. Oh, man. I got to compete? What? Do you? Okay. Just 1 second. I want to ask you this now. I want to ask you, do you like competing in comedy competitions?
No.
No. And why? Tell me why.
I don't think I just don't. Well, a lot of them are not fixed, but they are dependent on how many people you bring. So I don't think that is a great marker of whether you're a good stand-up or not.
Right. Because they're all voting. They're all voting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you bring 20 people, you're going to win. But I also think that competition style of comedy is very different. You get a very short set, and you have to fit in as many punchlines as you can, which is a fun challenge, but it's just set up punch, to get as many as you can in. So it's a different style of comedy. You can't tell a 3-minute story because you may only have a 3-minute set.
Yeah.
You can't. And also, I don't necessarily agree. I mean, good for people that do it, and that's awesome if that's your style of comedy, but I don't think that you can judge art that way. Like, you can say Picasso is amazing, or you might say Monet is amazing. Doesn't mean one is better than the other. It's art. It's personal taste. It's different. So it's the same with comedy. What makes one person laugh is going to be different than what makes somebody else laugh. So you can't say this is funnier than that. That's just, again, a personal opinion. So it's a personal opinion contest, or it's a who brought the most people contest.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when you were on the road, did you find like the different audiences in the different places? Some of them really like identified with you and some maybe didn't as much?
I think that happens in every show. Yeah. Like if I go to a very red state, it's different for me. It's a little harder because I'm quite liberal in my views. And
it comes out in your comedy too. Even when you're talking about something personal. I love that thing. I don't have the clip here, but I love the thing you were saying about how Congress can't choose the Speaker of the House. So maybe they should stop. Maybe they shouldn't have the right to choose. But yeah, tell me.
Yeah, that's basically
maybe we can take away their right to choose too. So like that would go over well in some. Yeah.
Yeah, we could just do what Republicans love to do and take away their right to choose.
Right, exactly.
Like if they can't choose a speaker. But the funny thing is, it's funny, I was just headlining a show up in like way Northern California where it gets really red up there. And it was a benefit for these, I don't know, Lakeport Firefighters Association or something. And huge event, sold out. And as soon as I got there, I was like, this is not going to be my crowd. But
yeah.
I was able to slip in so many things without, like, they noticed, but they didn't notice. Like, I kept being like, making fun of them if they would get tense over something because they'd be too woke. Oh, what's your problem? You can't like, I kind of just use their mentality against them and be like, I'm not going to get political, guys. Okay, we're not going to do that. But a woman does have a right to choose. But anyway, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I love that, though. You got to have your point of view. You got to have your point of view, and you got to own it. But also, you don't want to get punched or anything.
Yeah, it was tricky. There was one bit I do at the end, which I close my special with, but it is about healthcare, and that can be
I love that bit. I love that bit. That really gets people? Why? Because it's sexually related, or is it because of the healthcare system?
It's advocating for socialized medicine.
I love it. It's so well done. Can you tell me how you developed that bit? Because it's its own little encapsulated fun, and it reminds me of George Carlin so much. Today I was listening to that bit, and then it went straight to a George Carlin routine, and I was like, oh, Renee is like really like doing it, man. Doing the Carlin.
That's the best compliment I could ever get. How did that bit come about? This is kind of embarrassing. But it was literally like kind of a dirty talk thing gone wrong in the bedroom with my husband. And like, we were kind of dirty talking. And then a siren went by. fire, like a ambulance went by, and then I was like, yeah, they're coming for you, and then we just like kept going and be like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to afford it. That's how hard. Like, and then it just like got so ridiculous that I'm like, this is gonna be a bit.
It kind of came right out of real life. I love that. The thing is, a lot of times these things do come out of your real life, and truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. But also it's a really well honed bit as well. I mean, it really goes. It's like poetry. I love it. I'm going to play it. You've been doing that for a while. Is that in the new special too?
Yeah, that's the closer.
That's the closer. Yeah. All right. So we're advertising your show. Hopefully everybody will go to Comedy Dynamics and check it out.
No,
what?
It's not on Comedy. It's distributed by
It's
Comedy
everywhere.
Dynamics.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be on Amazon Prime and Apple TV on Tuesday. This Tuesday.
This Tuesday. That's why I just go to the Comedy Dynamics place, because it gives you all the different choices. But you can go to Apple TV or whatever, Apple thing. I don't even know what they call it anymore. They keep changing it on me. I want to say iTunes. I want to say Apple TV. It's Apple TV? Apple TV.
Apple TV. You can pre-order it now on Apple TV, and it'll be live on Apple TV and Amazon Prime on Tuesday.
Link is in the show notes to all of those different places, and definitely check it out. I'm going to play a little clip from your Instagram, and I want to talk about that for a second.
He sat me down. He's like, Renee, if there are drugs you want to do, you bring them home and we do them here together.
This is your dad.
I was like, ugh. He's like, I'm serious, Renee. Can you bring some drugs home? I am out. Forget the DARE program. That made me never want to do drugs again. After that, I was like, ugh, drugs? Gross. Drugs are for parents. Disgusting.
I love that joke. You apparently grew up with parents that were hippies, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, the name Renee Sutra Crystal Percy kind of tips that off a little bit. So yeah, cool. And they were pretty relaxed about the drug thing. That joke didn't make it into the special, and I tried it again, and it worked that night, but then I can't get it to work again. So.
Oh, really?
That did not make it into the special.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was hilarious, though. I thought it was so funny. So you've been doing a lot of social media work as well, because first of all, wait, I want to ask you this. Mm-hmm. The look of your special is so beautiful. And I think you shot it at the Falcon Theater. Is that where you shot it? Where did you shoot it?
No, the Gary Marshall Theater in Toluca Lake.
Okay. I think that used to be called the Falcon Theater. I think
you know what?
Yeah.
You might be.
But but whatever. That place over on Riverside Drive, beautiful theater. But who did the set decoration? What the heck is going on? It looks so beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, I got some major production value out of that theater. What happened was I had it's not that interesting, but I lucked out. It was a weird kismet situation. I had another theater that fell through at the last minute. They were like, we're worried about COVID again, even though this was a year ago now. It was last year. It was October 2022. Everything was open. It was fine. Mm-hmm. But they were like, everybody has to be masked and you have to be masked. And I was like, I'm not shooting a special in a mask. What are you talking about?
You're shooting a special in a mask? They
were just like, everybody in the building, mask. And I was like, this is ridiculous.
What a nightmare.
I was like, what if we tested every person on the way in and did it? And then it was just annoying. And I'm like, all right, I'm out. So I had to go back onto the search of looking for a theater again. And I went to the Gary Marshall. It was the last, I'd seen 30 theaters. It was the last one on my list. And it was just a black box theater at the time. And, he was like, yeah, you know, you can rent it, but you know, you're not going to be able to use it till December because we got a show going in. And I was like, I can't wait till December. I was like, what kind of show is it? And he's like, oh, you don't want it. Trust me. He's like, it's the 70s kind of, it's ghosty. And I was like, go on. Yeah. He's like, I'm serious. There's going to be like a rainbow painted on the floor. And then do I have it here? No. And then I just held up my Komic Sutra logo. And I go, you mean like this? And it was the exact same rainbows that I have on all my merch, everything.
Wow.
Right here.
I wish I had something here.
I know. I'm like trying to find something.
Here, I'll put something on here.
It was
There's this. How about that?
That's the floor. Yeah.
That's the floor of the place, huh?
I just don't have my hats. And anyway. But if, yeah. But
Boney, will you get a picture of the hats? I don't know. He's like asleep
on my
over
website.
there.
There's only a few.
It's on the website. It's on the website. Okay. He'll get it.
Okay. Merch.
Yeah.
But so I just held up that and I was like, you mean like this? And he was like, yeah, exactly like that. And I was like,
wow.
Sold. It was the most,
it's like it's meant to be.
They hadn't even built the set yet. They haven't even, there it is. There's
Thanks,
the
Boney.
logo with the, yeah, perfect.
Oh my gosh, it is. It's that these hats existed before that?
Way before. That's what I've been selling on the road. Like, that's been my logo.
That is so crazy. It's like it's like meant to be. Meant to be. When people say that.
Yeah, it was 100% meant to be. So I was like, sold, sign me up, let's do it. They hadn't even built the set yet or designed it, but I was like, I know this is going to be right. Mm-hmm. And they were even in the middle of their run. I just had the theater for one night. It was a Thursday night. They didn't have shows on Thursday. We just went in the morning, cleared out all their furniture, set, everything, and then just left the backdrop and then went in, shot it that night, and then put it all back, and they were back out.
That's incredible. That's incredible. What a great story that is.
Oh, it was so perfect.
There's applause again. Everybody's going crazy about it. I love
that. Those in real life. Just every time I say something good, I want to hear it.
You want to hear some applause? For sure. Yeah. Do you have, since you're a television writer as well, do you have your shows that you plan to do someday, like series?
I have one that I started during the pandemic and it's not where I want it to be. I have a couple features though, actually, that are ready to go.
Yeah.
And one of them I've optioned a few times and it just never ends up getting made, but maybe this year, we'll see. I need to really work on that. It's so hard. I'm not great at being split focus. I'm either writing stand-up, I'm writing a show. Like I don't know. It's hard for me to.
I'm like that too. I basically go from one thing to the next. And if something's 2 weeks away and it's the only thing, then I'm working on that. And if there's a thing the next day, then I'm working on that the next day in the morning.
Yep. I'm going to say I have 2 shows tonight. I will start on them after this.
Yeah. So do you find having done a special, now do you feel like you have to start over again, or do you still keep your same act, or are you feeling like, oh my God, I got to start all over again?
I kind of feel like I have to start all over again, which is overwhelming. And also there are a few of those jokes that I am still doing. And then when I headline, I have to. I don't have
You have to. Of course you do. You can't. Right? Yeah.
So that is overwhelming. But it's also that I shot that special because I was like, I don't want to do this material anymore. It's not connecting to me much, anymore, but it connected so much. It was so important for me for a long time. It's about trying to have a kid and going through that. And now that's not where I am now. So I don't want to keep talking about that. So
yeah, I get that. You move on into a different place in your life.
Yeah. Totally so I have to move on, even though I'm like, oh, but I'm not ready. I don't have new stuff. But I'm going to go have new experiences.
How do you go about writing new things? Do you write them do you write it on a piece of paper? Do you go to open mics? Do you do a little bit of both? All or none of the above? All of it.
All of it. Yeah. Oh, hi, Howard.
Howard is here. We love Howard.
I do all of the above. Yeah. Like tonight I have an idea and I'm going to go on stage and kind of just try and flesh it out. And, then if it works, I'll write it down so I remember. But I used to be like hardcore. I was a writer and I would write every word and paragraph and comma before I'd even try it on stage. And then it comes across very written. So I'm trying now to just go more with bullet points and know where the jokes are.
You see that with comedians, new comedians that are not actors. Generally, you see them go up and they do their thing, and they're kind of like in this bubble where they're just performing in that, and it doesn't extend all the way to the audience yet. I mean, it does eventually.
I feel like with actors more because we're used to having.
Maybe even more with actors. Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's how I was anyway, because I was like, well, there's a script, and let me get it right. And, the joke didn't work because I missed this one word. And you're like, maybe it's not about getting it right. It's just about.
I feel like that. It's like a balance between the two, because it is about like trying to get the right word for the right moment or whatever. But if you do too much of that, you just get all in your head, and then you don't notice things.
Too early.
Yeah.
Like I would get locked in too early.
Oh, too early. Interesting.
Yeah. But once you have the joke, then you have to, for me, I have to lock it in, because I know that if I don't hit this word like that, then it doesn't, or the intention, I don't know, then it doesn't hit. Once I've figured it out, I want to keep it.
Yeah. Clasterfan says, I find that bullet points are stronger than a fully formed script to memorize because the conversation and information can come through more naturally. A lot of comedians do that. They'll have like a list, and it'll just be like one word or a couple of words for each thing. And it kind of gets you into
You want
that.
to make a connection too.
Bloss, you're here.
Hey.
Bloss.
I love Renee's face. She was like, what the hell is that, God?
Yeah.
What is that? You're here. All right. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you too. Renee, thank you so much for being on Lunch Therapy with Joe Marshall. We were so excited all week. He was like, dude, next week we're going to do it live in studio, but Renee's coming on this week. And I go, relax. We'll
I
have
get too
Renee
excited.
on. And then if you want to bring her in the studio for another interview, you just bring her in again.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
I want to
I'm
show.
down.
I wanted to say,
do you want to
your
say something?
logo, the idea with the logo and the set for your special, it couldn't have been a better coincidence. You know, I don't know what that's called. That's called serendipity.
Kismet. Do they say kismet?
Kismet.
Kismet?
Yeah. Something.
Yeah. I mean, the logo on the hat and you sitting, sitting with your leg, with your legs.
Well,
up.
it's interesting
Your
because
leg is up in the hat. Your leg is up in the hat. So I was just saying the relation to it was just, what a great connection.
in the hat, she's doing her do you do yoga, Renee? That's what I'm trying to say. I couldn't say it.
Not right now. I mean,
because you do some on the stage. But I mean, it's part of the baby making process, I guess.
She's physical. Yeah.
Now I'm trying to intrigue people to watch your special by saying weird innuendos. You do some baby making on stage.
I do some baby making. Yeah, it's almost an X-rated special.
It's really.
I should be charging more for it. It's going to be on OnlyFans as well.
That's right. I want to play something really quickly here, to illustrate something.
My husband, he's a real estate agent, and okay, when I met him, he was careful, settle down. He's a real estate agent, smack, shit gets out of hand. Settle down.
I love that so much. That's so much fun. It's so fun.
It was quick too. That was quick improv.
That was quick. That's not somebody who's in a bubble at all. And I just love that about that.
Yelling at an audience.
Yelling at the audience. That was great.
What
do you think about crowd work? You do a lot of crowd work, or the ones that I see that are clips online. How did you get into that? How do you practice it? Was it scary to start talking to the audience the first time you did it, or what?
I wouldn't even say I'm a crowd work comedian. I do post those kind of things because everybody posts that because nobody wants to burn all their material.
Yeah, right.
It's so hard. What do I feel about it? I feel like there's some people that are really good at it. And the people that are, my hat's off to them, because, man, it is hard. It is not guaranteed. And you have nothing to fall back on. At least with a joke, you've got structure to fall back on. Yeah. But crowd work, it's just a wing and a prayer. And some people are so good at it. My friend Sharon Mahoney, so good at it. I can do it now and then in the moment, if I'm in the middle of another joke. I'm not trying to do crowd work. Just somebody dropped a bottle and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. Well, because it also takes away from your punchline, sort of steps on your punchline or whatever. So you have to.
Yeah, totally.
And if you don't, you look like you look like a corpse up there because you're not a real human being.
Exactly. That's what stand-up is, a conversation. So your job as the comedian is to say one thing, and the audience job is their part of the conversation is to laugh. But if something happens in the room that everybody is aware of and you don't address it, then it looks like you're not in the same room as everybody else. So you don't want to address everything that's happening. But
no, of course. Yeah. And also you have to kind of control people because sometimes they get drunk and they just want to talk the entire time, especially when you started talking to them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to control the audience and let them know when they can and cannot.
I find that the best people that are the best at it have a really high the ability to be confident. I don't know whether they have a lot of confidence, but they seem really confident on stage. And their philosophy a lot of times is, I have the mic and I'm a professional, and you don't have a mic and you are not a professional. You're an amateur. You know what I mean? Like, that has to be the attitude. And you are drunk and I am sober, or whatever it is. Or you can, or maybe you can't handle your liquor and I can.
I think confidence is key in stand-up in general. I mean, I think an audience needs to feel comfortable with you. Otherwise, it's 300 people against you. Otherwise, the audience will mutiny against you.
It's terrible.
Do you
like pause? Yeah,
there's more of us than her.
You're outnumbered. We can take them. Yeah. They might have a microphone, but we can get it back from them. It's so true.
The confidence and the consistency, you know, like you can't be having breaks thinking about what you're going to say. That's that window.
That's the thing also about...
You're not funny!
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit, dude. Don't make me make fun of your mom now, dude. Come on, settle down.
It also, it takes stamina, because if you're doing an hour show and you've got to hold that space for an hour.
But I think you can take those pauses. I think that shows confidence on stage too. When you can just...
Well, the pauses... Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Like Jack Benny, king of the pauses, right? Pause at Johnny Carson with the looks and the, you know, king of the pauses. But the pauses that make you have that look like, where do I go now? What am I talking about? What was I talking about?
Yeah, that's a different...
Was I in the middle of something? Those ones, that's the devil. Mama said that's the devil.
That's why people have the glass of water that they go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just for their palate or whatever. Yeah, there we go.
You know my other favorite one is? Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy, like those little things. Crazy. We do that, though. I mean, I go back and listen to my 500 episodes, and I see myself doing the thing and the, you know, the little filler words and all that stuff. And it's just like, as soon as we get rid of one of them, we find another one, you know?
The other one is, what else is going on? What else?
What else is going on out there? Anybody
what else
be the
is happening?
Paper? It has something also, like what you guys were talking about earlier, about how, you know, you have a script, like you write your jokes down and you have a script for, and you, when you stick to the script and you're not paying attention to the room and you're not making that connection, and then you're just kind of reading your material and you're not involved, like you said earlier, like they're not in the same room as everybody else. Yeah. Those are all the same kind of connections, you know. Yeah. The pausing and the letting other people get in and you're not controlling them. All that confidence is huge.
Interesting.
My husband and I, we actually just got over COVID for our first time. I just popped my COVID cherry. Thank you. And we discovered that it can affect men and women very differently. You know, like for example, I was all stuffed up, and he was a little bitch. It was different. It was different. Yeah. I mean, I got a cold. He got his period. It was different.
Oh God, that's me.
I love that. So one of the things we talk about on the show is about how you keep your mind right, how you stay in this game. Obviously, sometimes what looks like a huge win, the next day it feels like a loss. You know what I mean? Can you tell us how you maintain your sanity in this crazy business?
Who says I am sane?
I don't know. It's a good question. You're putting up a good appearance.
That's not about me. I'll take it. But how do I? I don't know. I cry a lot. Does that help? I don't actually. I need to cry more. I'm very cold. What do I do to stay sane? This sounds cheesy. There's a couple things, and I don't do this all the time, but I try to remind myself this, that two things. One, I am not curing cancer. I am telling dick jokes. Like, it is not important what I'm doing. And we put so much importance on what we're doing and our performance. And, you know, I have to just let it go sometimes and be like, if this goes well, great. Nothing changes in the world. If it doesn't go well, nothing changes in the world. You know, nobody's going to die. I'm not saving anybody.
Yeah.
Nothing happens either way. So just go and fucking have fun. Like, what else is there?
Yeah.
That's such
and
good
then the
advice.
Laugh.
Yeah.
That's good.
And the other thing.
I try not to take it too seriously. And it's so funny. We're talking about comedy, but we do take it so seriously.
Yeah.
And the other, because it hurts so much when it doesn't go well.
It does hurt, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It hurts your soul. Like, it
Oh
hurts
my
you in a
God!
way
You just
where,
want to
like,
crawl into it. I got snippy the other day at the fourth wall because somebody was two people were talking at the end of my set, and I'm just like, really? I was like, that's not cool. And in my mind, I like lost it. But what really happened was I went, that's not cool, and then went on with my thing. But in my body, I was like, just live it.
You just got to yell at them like in that clip, settle down.
I know. Sometimes I hold back too much.
The other thing I do.
She doesn't like you.
Yeah. Okay, what's the other thing?
Yeah.
Before you lose it, because Bloss is gonna be...
The other thing I try to do, and I don't do it all the time, but mentally I try to remind myself and tell myself every time I go on stage that comedians, we are very selfish people. We're like, I need to get laughs. I want to get a laugh. Did that get a laugh? Did I get a laugh on this? And it's a getting and it's a taking, right? Yeah. As opposed to, I try to say to myself, I'm going to give laughs. I'm going to go and give.
Yeah.
And if people want to receive, great. And if they don't, great. That's up to them. But I am giving something as opposed to try and take something away from people or try to get something.
I love that.
So I try to reframe it that way, and it makes it less, I don't know.
Awesome.
Maybe?
Yeah. When you work at these clubs that you are a regular at, does that give you license to try out material? And are you afraid that maybe that will be the night that Norman Lear is in the audience or something like that?
I know. It's tricky. When I'm performing at the Improv, I might slip in something new. But when I'm on the main stage with like the lineup on Tuesday was, it was Craig Robinson, Arsenio Hall.
David Spade has been in all the kinds of great comedians. I see your posters are unique because they just have the faces. We all know who the people are. You know what I mean? Those shows at the Improv that you're doing. Yeah. Well, you're the one posting it at least, but I think you're getting to that level where people just know your face. And that's great.
That's the problem, is that I feel like I need to kill every time. I can't try out stuff because I don't want anybody in the audience to be like, why is she on the show with them? You know, like I want them to be like, oh, she was the same as them. I just didn't know her name before. Yeah. So it's hard for me to try out stuff when I'm at those showcase clubs where I just want to be the best I can be. You know, and I put so much pressure on myself and all of that.
I feel the same way. I try and like tuck in little new things here and there. But I always feel like I don't want to let these people down. You know, I want to give them the best that I can possibly give them, except for my friends who are there that are mouthing the words. But that's okay. They're fans. Fans do that.
Yeah. They would do that at a Rolling Stones concert.
Right.
Too.
I mean, think if you were like a musician, you'd be singing the same songs all the time. And that's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear your new song.
It's true. So I try to slip in, certain clubs that I feel very comfortable at now. Like Laugh Factory this weekend, I'm going to be at the Long Beach one tonight and tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. And I get a longer set there. So when I have 20 minutes, I can sneak some stuff in. Yeah. But when I'm only doing a 10-minute showcase set on the main stage of the Improv with all these big, I'm like, maybe I might throw in one line, but like I'm trying to just.
I think maybe sometimes when you get to be hugely famous.
9 minutes and 55 seconds of nothing but strong, good.
Yeah. Well, and also the producers of the shows usually are like, bring your A game, bring your A game. You know what I mean? And you know what they mean by that.
I feel a lot of pressure on those sometimes.
Yeah.
And like a place like Comedy and Magic, they've got 2 rooms. And in the lounge, I'll try out new stuff. But in the main room there, it's just such a fun room to kill in that I don't want to be the one. Everybody kills at that place. Yeah. I don't want to be the one comedian that didn't destroy.
Yeah, you got to bring it. You got to bring it.
Yeah.
I can you tell us a little bit about how you see your future? Just, I mean, if you do that, do you do like a dream board, or do you do like some kind of mind map of your life, or do you plan at all, or what's happening? Clearly, you are getting a lot of
Mind
traction.
map.
So there must be something that you do to chart your path.
I mean, I've been visualizing my Emmy speech forever.
Yeah, that's something.
I'm now visualizing myself hosting SNL after Nate
Yeah.
Bargatze did it last week.
Yeah.
And I've done a
Should
walkthrough
visualize.
of the sitcom set that I'm going to be a star of.
Oh, so you do
many-
visualize. You do visualize. That's cool. That's cool.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I guess so, or I'm hoping, dreaming. I don't know what it is.
Don't we naturally do that anyway in most things? Like, you know, if you want a car, you
Yeah.
look up the car, you find out what the car is, you see them around all the time, you're visualizing. And that's the way you get that car. Yeah. And it's true about your career as well. If you don't know what you're doing, you're probably less likely, if you don't know where you're going, you're less likely to get to the destination. Let's face it. Yeah.
That's right.
It's very true.
I agree. To say a word that's used too much, you know, manifest. But if you're not seeing it, how are you going to believe it? You know,
Yeah.
if you don't know that it's going to happen, then how do you get ready for it? How do you, visualize yourself accepting your Emmy Award if you're not in the bathroom with the brush going, I want to thank my mom and dad. And my husband, the real estate agent, he's such a bitch when he has COVID. But I want to.
A long time though, it hasn't happened yet, but it will.
I love it. It'll happen. All right, so we have to end the show, and we end the show by our dance break. So you can feel free to dance. You can just sit in your chair, however you want. We're going to listen to a wonderful cover from a band called Molly Tuttle, or her name is Molly Tuttle. Thank you so much for being on the show, Renee, and coming back again.
Did you let Renee know if you have a couple of minutes when the show ends
Bloss
for a
wants-
little post chat?
Bloss likes to talk to you after the show. But she's busy. She's busy. But we'll talk to you after
she's busy.
the show.
No, she's got classes.
They're like
No, I understand.
overtime
She's got a couple minutes after.
with Bloss Lorenzo. Yeah.
She
Okay.
might not even.
I love it. I love it. Let's dance this thing out. Thanks,
Thanks, Renee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
I like this band.
yeah, these people are great.
They always look good. They always look
It's
good.
a little Halloween leftover. Little Jefferson Airplane. I don't even know if this is danceable, but it's nice to hear.
Yeah.
It's
Boppable.
not really danceable. I'll just move around a little bit. You got your
This is a good song, though, too.
Isn't it great? That's right. I just thought it'd be a nice mellow song. She's a great guitarist, too.
One pill makes you larger and one
This is for your dad.
makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you
Nah, it's always fucking a
don't
joint.
do anything at all. Go ask Alice. She's 10 feet tall. And if you go chasing rabbits and you
Matt Hatters playing the stand-up bass.
I like the cat. The banjo, slow banjo cat. Playing the, what is that?
Is that a mandolin?
Mandolin.
Is that a mandolin?
This is a high-end operation. Oh, look at this violin. I have to. I'm gonna end the show soon, but violin. I mean, come on.
The fiddle.
A fiddle.
Come on.
Yes, a fiddle. Sorry.
I can't tell if the people in the background are part of the show or are they documenting the show?
I don't know
Are they
what's going on.
setting up the decoration?
There's some interesting people in the background for sure. I think that's Kung Fu Panda back there. He's got the hat like Kung Fu Panda. All right.
Oh yeah, it's got the Chinese hat.
Okay.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Renee.
You were great.
All right, we'll see you all.
You were great. Absolutely great.
We'll see you all
Go
next
watch
week.
your special.
Go watch your
You
special,
got
darn
Prime.
it.
If you buy anything on Prime, you got Prime. Go watch it. Renee Percy.